Hey, this is the Proust questionnaire by Jeremy Tronson. When and where were you the most happiest? Well, I was the most happiest when I was living in North Carolina. I mean, the state is just beautiful. The people are really nice, and at that time of my life, it was just somewhere that really helped me out, through a really tough time in my life. So, that's definitely one of the best places I can say that I was the happiest. Who are my favorite writers? Well, first and foremost, Stephen King. His Dark Tower series was amazing. That's that's a series that really got me into reading, a lot of books, from Peter Straub and everybody else. And also too, Bill Watterson. Calvin and Hobbes growing up. That was like my favorite, cartoonish book. Growing up from, I don't know, fifth to seventh grade. Um, what's a trait that I most deplore in others? Well, I deplore people who aren't truthful. I deplore people who are really deceptive. If I can't trust you, there's no point for you to even be around me. Um, Trust is a big thing with me, especially when it comes to anything. If I can't trust a word that you say, how could I ever rely on you? How can I put any emotion toward, helping you or wanting to help you? Um, what is my favorite journey? Right now, I'd say my life is my favorite journey. I've gone through so much hardships and been through so much in my life, and where I'm going right now is definitely worth the trip. And this has definitely been one crazy journey, but I guess it's not how you start the journey, it's how you end it. Um, what are my favorite names? Well, my name's my favorite name of all. If you don't love your own name, then who are you really? I also like Juliana as a name. That's something me and my girlfriend thought about. If we ever had a daughter, that would be a name that we wanted to name her. Also, another good name of mine is Alexandria. That's also my girlfriend's name. She's been a really big part of my life and helped me through so much. And of course, Odin. I mean, Anybody that speaks about Odin or knows anything about North mythology definitely knows that Odin is the man. And I wish my girl would let me name my kid Odin. Uh, where would I like to live? I would love to live in Switzerland. Switzerland is definitely one of the most beautiful countries out. Just the Swiss Alps. The people are really nice. Zurich. I mean, what else can you say? Let's see here. Who's my favorite fictional character? That would have to be Doctor Doom. He's the he's the best arch villain ever. Nobody's ever caught him. If you do catch him, it's a drone. He's always like 15 steps ahead of everybody. He's just the most awesome super villain ever. I can't even wait. I don't even know if they'll ever catch him. How would I like to die? Well, honestly, I look at it like this: it doesn't matter how I die, as long as I leave behind something for my family or for my kids. It's all about leaving that legacy, leaving behind something for your kids to remember you by. Like I said, I had a hard life growing up, but I definitely want to finish strong, for my kids, my future kids. I don't even have kids, but if I do have kids, I'd like to, keep them in mind. What is my greatest extravagance? Well, that would have to be my video games. I've been a gamer since I was a kid. I've always been really into video games. They've kept me out of a lot of trouble growing up. I've never been one to watch TV or anything like that. Um, I always thought like TV was like for brainwashing people, or it's basically what the television's called, like the brainwashing machine. Um, and also too, I really like using my brain. I don't like just sitting at just sitting there watching something and you know, just I don't know, just staring at a screen. I have to be doing something. I have to be breaking a puzzle or something. Um, what do you consider the lowest depths of misery? All right, it took me a little bit to answer this one, but I would say it all depends on the person because everybody, has different problems. They have different forms of misery. What might be super miserable to somebody else might be petty to me compared to, my misery might be petty to somebody else. It all depends. But I can say that I have been in some pretty deep, miserable places in my life. I would say that one of the hardest things I'd ever went through in my life was watching somebody that I really cared about go into a hospital. I dropped her off, and she needed a transplant, an organ transplant. And at the time, it was COVID, so I couldn't visit her. When I was calling, she couldn't stay awake long enough to even have a full conversation with me. And I wasn't getting no information from the doctors. Her parents weren't really telling me anything, and I thought I was never going to see that person again. And the hardest thing was just the last thing I remember is just watching her walk into a hospital. you know so when I say that misery comes in all shapes and sizes, it definitely does. So I would like to leave it at that. Well, thank you very much. I hope this gave you some insight on who I am. Have a most wonderful day.